Right, go ahead, Joshua. Syria cook for us.
Well, go on what? I thought I was just listening in.
Surely you know the topic.
Oh yeah, by now. I'm just curious, what do you guys think of like when you look at like Starlink like live streams and stuff and they get to like a certain altitude and then you start seeing like the curvature of the earth?
What was the question? Isn't there some TV? That's what I think. About Starlink? What?
Yeah, like SpaceX like live streams their Starlink missions.
Yeah, they live stream the Loch Ness Monster too. So what? Google
Oh,
Nessie on the net. Yeah, Google Nessie on the net. What do you think about that?
oh yeah, there's a lot of fake news, but SpaceX is a little bit
Oh
different.
yeah, like SpaceX live streaming their Starlink missions. Yeah, that's some fake news.
Well, I'm just asking you like for a bit more information.
Yeah,
Do you
I
think
think it's fake news.
okay? So the whole company's just what pretending to like just launch
Well,
rockets?
how did you get from fake news to the whole company? Like, that's the logical leap.
Wow, maybe you should just expand on your reasoning then. Then I don't have to assert anything.
I use the reasoning that you used for the Loch Ness Monster being fake news.
Right. So what is
None.
SpaceX doing? So
I
like
don't
what?
know. I don't work there.
Yeah, but you accused them of lying.
No, I said that allegedly live video is fake news. That's what I said.
Right. And people that spread fake news are lying. Would you agree?
Oh, that's what fake news is. It's lying.
Yeah. There's usually probably not people who spread it, but the people who originate the stories.
No, that's not necessarily true because they might not know how that story is going to be used. So they wouldn't be lying. They say, "Hey, make a freaking video." Okay, I'll make a video, and someone else takes the video and gives it to another person. Another person is another person.
Right.
So
So for the
thing
case of
is,
SpaceX, what do you think they're doing?
I don't have to evaluate the honesty of human beings, okay, to know what the truth is.
Okay.
In fact, that is a foolhardy method.
I'm just asking, like, what do you think? What's the reasoning in your world? Like, why is SpaceX?
How would I know why they do anything?
Well, they're launching like satellites up. And you're saying like, no,
Oh,
that's
really?
fake news. And I want to understand your justification behind it. That's what I'm trying to ask.
What's your justification for believing it? Are all claims true unless like you have a justification for not believing it? You claim you're just asking questions when you come in here, and I don't believe that. And neither does anybody else.
Well, it's like, for example, if I told you I don't trust doctors, I think they're all con artists or something, and then you'll ask me,
Well, that's a false
"Oh,
equivalence
Josh,
for one.
why are doctors? Why do you think doctors are like fraudsters?" I'm like, "Why are you asking me questions? Does every claim has to be substantiated?" Like you can see how it's like a bit annoying.
Yeah. Why do what? Well, let me ask you. Since you want to use doctors as an analogy, okay? So you trust doctors
Yeah,
based
yeah,
upon what? Based upon what?
uh, because they're qualified. We can measure their results if they're effective
Yeah.
in what
So
they
here's
do.
a result that's been measured. Okay. Deaths from medical malpractice in the United States is nearly the #1 cause of death. Never mind the prescription medication, which is a whole nother fucking can of worms.
I feel like I've just stepped
So
onto a
your belief
landmine.
is not based upon actual data; it's just based upon like your feelings. You have no idea what the efficacy of modern medicine is. You have no fucking clue. Not even the slightest. I don't know why you guys bring up medicine as an example, especially in light of the pandemic, dude. It's like literally the dumbest example of trust to ever bring up.
Because usually it's a concrete example. I wasn't expecting you to.
It's a concrete of what? Of being wrong?
I wasn't expecting you to. I don't know what to call it, like medical denialism. I don't even know what we want to call that. And you mentioned the.
Well, what
It's
were you
the
guys
stats from the it's the stats from the medical industry themselves, dude. It's not my fucking numbers. Dude, Google
Joshua.
number of deaths from medical malpractice. Google it right now.
Okay, sure. I'm game. Deaths. Are we looking for the US?
Number of deaths from medical malpractice.
Sure thing.
Joshua, while you're doing that, can you tell me? I just got back here. I don't know what were you guys talking about before that you went into this analogy?
Starlink, and he was trying to make an argument that I need to auto believe what they say.
Oh, okay. Starlink is the argument. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I made the mistake of talking about medical stuff, and I didn't realize I would have to start proving that as well. But in all fairness, I have Googled it. And the first result is MC Gill's University. The medical error is not the third leading cause of death. I'll have a read.
Yeah. Great. Awesome. One study reported the approximately 400,000 hospitalized patients experience some preventable harm each year. Another estimated greater than 200,000 patients die annually were due to preventable medical errors. That's a bad example to bring up with trust,
Yeah, but
because you blindly trust them and they kill people, and you're more likely to get killed doing that.
Yeah, but even from what I'm just listening to what you're saying, when we talk about like malpractice or misuse, like it's not like they're actually killing the people. It's like they're probably getting
Preventable medical error is killing people.
No, like for example, if the patient did not have any medical care whatsoever, it would probably result in their death. What is probably
You have no idea. There's no justification. You have no justification to say that. None. None whatsoever. Post the statistics that that supports any of that. You can't, because those statistics don't exist. Because if they did exist, nobody would go to the doctor ever.
Did you post an argument about Starlink, Joshua? I'm just.
Well, he wanted me to justify why. He's like, well, can you tell me how you know what they're doing is fake? I said, or why I don't trust them. Like, I want to know why I should trust them in the first place. And then he used doctors as an analogy. Fucking worst analogy ever.
I know. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so you should come up with something better, Joshua. You got anything better? Is this supposed to be your proof of globe or what?
Well, I just wanted to know, because we know that Starlink works, so you can connect to it, and we have GPS, and we have like a live stream of a rocket going up, deploying the satellites, and I just wanted to know what his opinion was. And
yeah, we have a live stream of the Loch Ness Monster and witnesses and all sorts of shit. So what?
Yeah, but I would imagine there's more witnesses and probably more substantial evidence to rockets flying up than Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, but you don't see them go to space, dude. You see a rocket take a parabolic arc to the horizon. That's what people on the ground see when they see a rocket launch. You know that, right? So
yeah,
there's what you imagine, like what you're imagining in your head of what actually happens, then what actually happens. Those two things don't touch each other, okay? Because what you see, if you film a rocket launch, you'll see the rocket take a parabolic arc and disappear at the horizon. The same way a fucking intercontinental ballistic missile, a medium-range ballistic missile does, a short-range ballistic missile does, they would all look identical.
They're doing that to get into an orbit. That's why they take
yeah, that's a cool story. Except for no one's ever observed an orbit. Ever.
I mean, that's not true. Like
Ever.
I'm sure there's an app you can go on where you can see like what satellites are passing over your
Grand
area.
Theft Auto. Yeah, I can
And
go on Grand Theft Auto. There's an app.
Excuse me.
I mean, like
Yeah, go ahead.
you could see with your own eyes. Like for example, like you could see Starlink satellites go overhead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they in space?
Yeah, I would say they're in space. But
Why? Why would you say they're in space? Is it from the visual evidence or is it from the story you're told?
the reason why they're in space is because if they were in the atmosphere,
Hey, you can't answer a question, dude. This
there'll
is
be
getting
a
old.
drag. Hang on, I was at middle speaking. The reason why they're in
No,
space.
I said, is it from the visual evidence or from the story you're told that you're basing it, your evaluation that they're in space?
Well, you immediately say story being told. Like I reject
Yeah,
that
because if you
premise.
just saw lights in the sky, right, you wouldn't go, oh, those are in space.
Okay. So what's your explanation for why these light dots go across the sky?
You don't need an explanation.
I don't
That's
fucking
convenient.
need an explanation, man. Why would I need one?
Well, I'm saying, oh, it's X, and you're saying it's not X.
What?
So I'm like, okay,
No,
well, what
what
is
I'm
that?
saying is, you're saying it's X. I'm saying you have no evidence it's X other than hearsay.
Hey, you know what's wild, Indio? When he talks about rockets going over the curve to get into orbit, those same rockets, Elon will show a rocket going straight up and falling straight back down. So why does it go over the curve?
Yeah, that's weird.
He has self-landing rocket, so when he goes up, he deploys the satellite, so he's in orbit. And then
But
what
it's
he
not
does
going
is
over a
he
curve, it's just going straight
deorbits the
up.
rocket and then goes back.
But listen,
But it's
dude,
just
how do
going
you know
straight
any
up.
of that? Let me ask you, how do you know any of that? Would you
I
know
mean-
any of that unless you were told?
Well, there's more than told. Like,
No, I'm asking you,
there's
would you
literally
know
video
any of that
evidence.
unless somebody... Okay, I'm going to ask you the question again, and you're going to answer this time. Would you know any of that if you weren't told that story?
Oh,
No,
what,
you
like,
wouldn't. That he shoots rockets up and straight up in the air, and they come straight back down. He shoots them up so they go into orbit. Blah blah blah. That whole story you just told. What is that based on? You heard somebody say something and you believed it.
hang on, this is how information works. We share
And then
information. Like, say
yeah,
when you learn
great.
the English
And I'm
language.
sharing information with you. And I'm sharing information with you that you simply believe the fantastic stories of strangers and I don't. Okay? That's where the rub is. I don't have to prove or demonstrate or justify why I don't believe the fantastic claims of strangers. It's up to the strangers to provide evidence for their claims, not hearsay stories, not a bunch of bullshit. You know what? He could go up and he could film the fucking satellites from the moon, right? So do that.
Yeah, but when you ask for evidence and I show you evidence,
You didn't show me evidence. You showed me claims. You showed me claims, dude.
Hang on. If I get a word in edgeways, just
Yeah,
relax.
but claims are not evidence. You're mischaracterizing what you've shown. You've shown claims.
Right, I'll link. It's straight from the SpaceX website. Like that's one of the Starlink
Oh boy,
missions.
that seems credible. Self-serving claims from the people in question. That seems like a good source of information.
I mean, I address your information whenever you send me pictures. I think it's just as fair. if you
The
present-
information. There's a difference between the information I give and you give. I give empirical evidence. You give stories. Right? Shit you seen on the screen and the story behind it, you happen to believe. You know, I'm sure if SpaceX told you the movie Gravity was fucking real and it's a documentary, you'd believe that too.
In order to
Yeah, you can't even address that because you know
Hang
it's
on.
true. You think
Hang on.
that Star Wars is a documentary.
No, it's very much in the fictional realm. So
How do you know that, dude? What if they claimed it was real?
I would highly doubt it.
Why?
They do say it was in a galaxy far, far away in a time long ago, so it could be history.
Why would you doubt it?
Because you can. I mean, it's completely documentaries of like the making of Star Wars, and even the people themselves. It's like it's part of a movie franchise.
What if,
So
what
I
if
don't
that
know
was
why-
disinformation? What if that was fake news? That like those documentaries about making Star Wars, they were all fake.
Well, then, if I was going to Well, then I would have to engage with the premise, wouldn't I? I would actually have to understand what the claim is.
Yeah,
And then
the point is, you're deflecting
evidence.
from the point. If you
But
were
the
5
problem-
years old and just saw Star Wars and they claimed it was fucking real, you'd believe it was real. That's a fact of the matter.
The problem
You just believe
I think
anything
you're struggling
that
with
anybody says on the
is that you
image
don't
if you
actually
happen to
engage with
think
any
that
of the
they're in a
arguments.
position of authority. You're a total cuck.
This is just insults and...
Yeah, that's right. That's what that was. At least you didn't call it a straw, or you didn't call it an ad hoc.
I didn't call it an ad hoc. I'm just saying that's that's just an insult.
The fact of the matter is this, is that people that you deem as authorities could show you anything and you'd believe it. You have no standard at which you would not believe it. Unless you do. Like, if SpaceX made some claim, at what point would you not believe it? What if they said they made like a teleporter where you could teleport to the moon? Would you believe that?
The difference between me and you is like...
Why can't you answer the question?
I am answering the claim. If they said a teleporter, I would ask for evidence, and then I would see the evidence, and then I would judge for myself.
And then you would see the evidence.
I can see the evidence of the rockets going up. I can see the
Here's their
rockets coming
evidence.
down.
They
I
have
can
they have a
see the
split screen
GPS working on
camera.
my phone or the internet connection, so I can see in real time like what's going on.
You don't know it's real time. The only reason you think it's real time is they said it's real time.
Do you use a GPS on your phone?
So check this out. Here's how the here's how their evidence for the teleporter. They broadcast the video, 10, 9, 8. So you have a container and there's a person inside of it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the other side of it, in the split screen on the other side, boom, you see the person over there and he's not in. And what they actually did was just swap the video sides, right? The left becomes the right of the split screen and the right becomes the left of the split screen. And they teleported him to the moon. There's your video evidence.
Right.
Now SpaceX invented a teleporter.
Right, and we would evaluate those claims. We would have independent verification.
Oh, what's the independent verification of SpaceX?
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of media outlets that would
media outlets that use SpaceX as the source of their information.
Verify SpaceX.
Dude, SpaceX PR department told the media outlets, dude, this is like what who did this shit during the Gulf War? Cheney. The source was Cheney. He tells the reporter reports it, then he goes on the news and then cites the reporter as confirming what he said when he was the source of what the reporter said.
Sure, this is why we have independent.
These tricks don't work, bro.
And multiple outlets.
Oh yeah, all coming from the same original source, SpaceX.
No, SpaceX.
You realize SpaceX is a private company.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Yeah, they're a private company. Inside is a black box. Nobody knows what they're doing.
Okay.
We do know that there's over 400 government agencies coordinating with SpaceX. Do you know how we know this?
They have government contracts with NASA, I am aware.
Okay, do you know how we know this, though? Because Elon Musk went in front of Congress, swore on the Bible, and said, we have 400 government agencies working with us.
Working with?
SpaceX.
I don't think he controls the government, and I don't think the government controls all of the media outlets.
Oh, my Lord. Who said anything even remotely resembling Elon Musk controlling anything?
You were hinting at it.
No.
Yeah.
I said no. What I said was Elon Musk confirmed that SpaceX, for all practical purposes, is not separate from the government. But unlike the government that you can FOIA and get information from, you can't get FOIA SpaceX's information and get anything out of there.
Yeah, SpaceX is under no obligation to share anything with the public as a private company.
I'm not just.
And they have no obligation to tell the truth. They have no obligation whatsoever to tell the truth at all.
So would you find it satisfying if he did do the teleporter experimentation and multiple outlets were to record it and examine it?
I wouldn't believe it.
Okay, then so the issue isn't SpaceX, you don't trust the outlets at all then?
How are you independently verifying this?
No, dude. Claims are not evidence, dude. Do you realize? Okay, really simply, do you understand that claims are not evidence?
When I talk about news outlets, I'm talking about
claims evidence?
recordings. I'm talking about recordings.
News outlets are
audio.
news outlets make claims. They don't provide evidence.
News outlets often report the news from some kind of source. Sometimes the source is in the outlet, sometimes it's not, depending on like what article you're reading.
Okay. And a thing like SpaceX, do they got like free reign? Is it like free reporting? Where they're like, hey, here you go. Let's see your pass. Here's an ID. See you later. And they just go wherever they want and do whatever they want and just like report.
No, but they do have interviews.
Yeah, that's right. What they see and what they report is controlled by SpaceX themselves.
I don't think you care about that because you've already said that you don't trust the outlet. So even if they did allow full reign,
no, I didn't say
you still
that.
wouldn't trust them.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
So you would trust some outlets then?
No, that's not what I listen. If you're trying to oversimplify things and turn this into a childlike argument, dispute.
It's either you do or you don't.
You're just saying I don't trust the outlets or I do. Okay, I don't go by trust to evaluate truth. Okay, what they say might be true, it might not be true. I say I don't know until I have actual evidence that can be tested.
Do you trust anyone? Like if someone gave you a piece of information?
Certainly don't trust you.
I'm not asking you to trust me. Say like another flat earther came to you and said, we've done another laser experiment.
No, I would not trust them. No.
Okay.
I don't automatically trust shit.
So does this mean you have to like verify like every single claim, every like
if you want to claim you know something, yes.
Okay.
So I know it's really hard. I know it's very, very hard to actually think critically about things and make nuanced and particular decisions about what you know and don't know and what's a belief and what's not a belief and having the courage to say, I really don't know. I could adopt that, but then I would only be believing it and I wouldn't know. And I just like running around as if it's truth would be deluding myself. So you don't know that there's satellites in space. You believe it to be so. You're running around saying you know the truth, but that statement is actually you just deluding yourself. You've decided to convert belief into truth because you like
but I
it.
can see evidence for my claims where you're just saying I'm just trusting inaccurate sources.
There was a lot of evidence that all swans were white until they found a black swan. You know that, right?
I'm not familiar with that example, but sure.
Okay, so in Australia, swans are black, and the theory was all swans are white. And they looked for white swans, and that's all they ever found. So they were like, man, I got lots of evidence all swans were white. They must be white. And then they went to Australia and they found a black swan. So they found, as soon as they found one black swan, all that positive evidence meant nothing. Okay? This is how actual inquiry works. This is how actual inquiry works. Confirmational evidence does not tell you anything. It's the attempt to falsify it that tells you something.
Well, even with your like swan example, all it took was a confirmed evidence.
It's Karl Popper's example. It's not mine.
Hang on. So it's like new information. So it's like we've acquired new information. There's no conspiracy to cover up this information. This information is shared. Now we know that not all swans are white. With the space situation, you're a bit more of a difficult situation because you already have rockets that are going up. So there is no like black swan. They're already doing it. So the next thing you'll have to do is to explain like why are those rockets fake or however you want to claim it.
No, they're real rockets.
Okay.
The only question, are they doing what they claim they're doing with them? That's the only question.
Cool. Okay, I feel like I'm...
And whether we are capable of even evaluating that claim, right? Which we're not. because
Let me try
I
something real quick.
explained. Hold on. Just let me finish.
Go ahead.
You can go right after
Yeah.
me, Sheep. I promise. So, a medium-range ballistic missile, which goes 500 miles, would look visually identical. You have no way to know from watching a rocket launch if it goes to space, if it goes 500 miles away, 200 miles away, 100 miles away. You can't tell. So the question is, can you even evaluate it for truth? And that answer is a big fat no.
No, it's like 6
Why
months out.
asking questions? Why asking questions that you think you have the answers to? Why don't you just make your claim? Or are you afraid of your claim?
Because you can't. Why are you dodging the question? You guys love
Dude,
to ask questions, but
You've
you can't
got the
answer them.
you've got the claim
You
about
guys
it.
love
Why
to
don't you
ask
just make
questions,
it?
but you can't answer them. Just answer the question.
They model a 24-hour sun on the flat Earth. That's the model they use to predict the sun is a flat Earth model.
Antarctica has a 24-hour sun, bro.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Whatever it has, they use the flat Earth to predict that.
Are you gonna answer my question?
Yeah, they use the flat Earth to predict it.
How does that answer the question?
Okay. They use, are you dense? When you go look on time and date, and you put in whatever, like McMurdo Station, and it says the sun is 23 degrees above the horizon all day. That math is a flat Earth math. It's not a globe math. You actually don't have a way to predict a 24-hour sun.
Okay, so basically you can't answer the question.
I did answer the question. You have to play pretend that I didn't.
No, that doesn't tell me how.
Everybody heard it. It's recorded. Everybody heard my answer, dude. You have to play
Your
pretend.
answer was that they use a flat Earth approximation, which is fine.
It's not an approximation. It's not an approximation at all.
Okay.
You have azimuth and elevation angle of the sun. The mathematics used to do that is not on the globe.
You lose,
At
man.
all.
You can't answer the question.
Weren't you the one that was blowing the mathematics penis minutes ago?
He left.
Was he stoned or something?
Wait, so why don't you
I
guys
think it's
like my
worse than
portal?
that.
Dude, no one cares about portals, man.
Yeah, but it's a good theory.
No, it's not a theory. It's not even a hypothesis. It's untestable. How would you test it, dude?
I guess you wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. So go back to Imagination Land of Narnia or something. I don't know what to tell you.
But just because something's untestable doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Correct. I can't test that you'll never get laid, but it's probably true.
Got him.
We fucking got him.
So what's the alternative hypothesis as to why they're witnessed the 24-hour sun?
What do you mean a hypothesis? They witnessed it. What do you mean? I mean, why? Because they went to a place where it was. That's why. We know the cause. They went there.
Right, but how does that fit on a flat Earth?
What do you mean? The Earth is flat because we measure it flat, and they went to a place and observed the 24-hour sun. We use a model of flat Earth that predicts when they will happen. Like, what else do you want?
If there's no measurable Earth curve, like if you go out there and look and you can't find measurable curve consistently on a regular basis, and it appears flat, it's used as flat, it measures flat. So whatever's happening in the sky then could only happen over a flat Earth.
You know, the guy that did that, Will Duffy, admitted that the sun doesn't prove the shape of the Earth. You know, he admitted that, right, in a debate.
Right, but from my understanding, the 24-hour sun in the southern hemisphere
you don't
is
have a
impossible.
hemisphere. Well, that your understanding. Just listen. Can you prove it's impossible?
Well, it depends on the nature of the sun, and
that's not. Oh, really?
And I suppose the shape or the position of the Antarctic continent.
Really? How do you know any of this? Because you're presupposing a relationship between the sun and the earth that's purely geometric. And thinking that, hey, if I draw this orthographic frickin' space disk and have a sun out there somewhere, oh, it doesn't work on my frickin' orthographic view. We don't see things in an orthographic view. We see things in a projective view. So we look at the sun. You guys try to go from looking at the sun and seeing it and jump outside and astral project yourself far, far away. And look, does this make sense from here, though? We don't see it from there. We don't see it from space. We see it from Earth.
So what I'm gathering is that there's no like consensus on why there is a 24-hour sun in
Is it
Antarctica.
consensus? What do you mean, why? Like, what causes it?
Yeah, like
How would we know that?
How is it visible? Like on a
What does
platter?
that mean? What do you mean, how is it visible? It's visible. What do you mean, how?
Yeah, I mean because
Find the measurable Earth curve.
because it doesn't fit the the little
Doesn't fit the
animation.
measurable Earth curve.
You mean it doesn't fit the globe? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying like if you ever seen that animation of the sun going around like a circular Earth, right? And then it like
Yeah.
So like it doesn't fit that particular model. So then we'd have to come up with another model where it does.
Who's gonna tell him?
We have to come up with another model. First of all, that's not a model. That's just a visual representation. Something you guys can't even make. It's just a visual representation. It's not meant to show the sun position. No map exists which shows what the sun would look like from any particular place on Earth. Period. There's no 3D model. It's not stellarium. Nothing. And you're like, hey, man, where's your map that shows where the sun is from that place? That map doesn't exist. It can't exist. It doesn't exist in a globe form or any other form. These models of the sun are observer-centric. That means the model must exist from the viewpoint of the observer, not outside of it. What is so hard to understand about this?
Yeah, I mean, I was just curious if anyone had come up with like a plausible theory for it, but if not, that's fine too. Like, it's
what do you mean a
perfectly
plausible theory? I'd say, how would we even test it?
Well, just like an explanation.
Like when you have a hypothesis.
Oh, it's a cool story. He wants a cool story. Well, I'll give you a cool story. I'll give him a cool story. He wants a cool story. It's going to have just as much evidence. Yeah, I mean, it'll have as much evidence as his story does. Not a fucking thing, but I'll make one up. Okay, there's leprechauns, and every once in a while, the fucking leprechauns get drunk and spin in a circle, and when they do, their magic makes the sun circle anywhere you're standing on ice. There you go. There's your explanation. Now, we're going to compare evidence. We're going to compare the evidence of the globe explanation versus mine. Give us the globe explanation evidence.
Let's see here. Evidence.
Yeah, the globe explanation is the correct explanation of the 24-hour sun. And then I'm going to give the evidence, my magic elf explanation is the correct explanation. But you can go first.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
I guarantee we give the same evidence. Nothing.
Well, I don't know like specifically evidence, but I do know that they've, modeled it in a way that
No. I already told you that. They don't model it with a globe, they model it with a flat earth. I already told you that.
Well, I'm saying if you put a
I already told you that, dude. Post the globe model of the 24-hour sun in the chat, the math. Post it in the chat. I want it to be able to make predictions of a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Go.
I can find like an animation of it.
No. You said a model.
Yeah, I could
not a
explain
toy.
it to you.
Yeah, we already did the explanations. I gave my explanation. And now we're looking for the evidence of which explanation is correct.
The model would be whatever model time and date uses.
Okay, okay. So you've moved from explanations to descriptions. But the description we use is a flat earth description, not a globe description.
We know the globe description is correct.
There isn't one.
Yeah, there is. What do you mean?
Okay, post it in the chat. The math.
Are you?
The math that like time and date uses, timeanddate.com or SunCalc or the U.S. Naval Observatory, post that math in the chat right now.
Part of the globe model.
Yeah, no, it's not. You're just ignorant. It's just like this guy.
What do you mean?
What do I mean? I must use a globe because I've always believed that, so it's got to be true. It doesn't use a globe.
The globe model accounts for the 24-hour sun, sir.
Okay, then post it in the chat.
It requires axial
Then
tilt.
post it in the chat. Stop talking to me. Post it in the chat. All the mathematics. Post it in the chat. All the mathematics.
I'll post it.
McToon couldn't do it. You sure as fuck can't. So post it in the chat.
I'll do a Wikipedia.
No, not Wikipedia. The formulas.
What do you mean?
The formulas that use a globe to predict a 24-hour sun.
There's no formula, dude. It's part of the model.
Isn't the model a mathematical model?
No.
No?
Behind it, but it'd be a little difficult to find. I think there's a GitHub repo for the math. I can try to look it up.
It uses the equation of time.
There's
no globe in there.
Draggers tonight, Indio.
Yeah, that's quite the argument. You don't know what you're talking about as usual, twonger. So we've already been down this road, us flat earthers, with you guys. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. They should have looked how the 24-hour sun is actually predicted in reality before they went there thinking anything. But they didn't decide to check. They just happened to believe in their heads. They made it up in their heads. Well, 24-hour sun, that's a globe prediction because it must be. Because I saw a diagram in fucking 3rd grade. Okay. So your diagram is not a model. It's just a representation of an idea. But the actual model of that predicts it, the description, a descriptive prediction using mathematics of where the sun will be, doesn't have a globe in it. Well, no, Earth globe. It's an observer-centric model. You're at a point at the origin of the coordinates. The other spatial reference is the celestial equator, and that's it. There's no globe. You just thought there was. Sorry that you're wrong. Now, let's get back to elves versus spinning ball. So I want to hear the evidence for your prediction of elves or spinning ball. I got the elves. And after you give your evidence that that's the cause of, the 24-hour sun, then I'll give mine that the elves is the cause of the 24-hour sun. We're going to have the same evidence. So I already know it.
Yeah, so like I saw a video like a year or two ago or something that posted the math behind it, but I can't remember how to find that video.
Okay, it's called the equation of time. It's easy to look up. You can look at the formulas even on Wikipedia. You can go to the U.S. Naval Observatory. You can go to time and date. You can go to SunCalc. You can go under these places. They all use the equation of time. It looks like this. I'll post the freaking diagram in the chat. So this is the geometry of the equation of time. See how there's variables? Angle theta, azimuth angle phi, horizon, right? Okay, this is a model. Your little cartoon is not. So this is how they predict where the sun will be, okay?
I see.
Precise definition of the equation of time. Quantities occurring in this equation are EOT, the time difference between apparent solar time and mean solar time. GHA, the Greenwich hour angle of the apparent actual sun. Okay. If you get deeper into it, it's just where the sun is relative to the celestial equator and the time of year, and that's how they used to predict it. It has nothing to do with what you're standing on. And even if it did, that would be a description. You're trying an explanation. And even if you had a mathematical model that quote unquote describes it, you couldn't tell if that model was true anyway, because other models could make the exact same predictions. Right? And then you'd be stuck with which model is actually physically real. And then you'd be back to the explanation phase, which is where you are right now, which I'm asking for the evidence that the explanation is true, and you're balking, dude.
So why is it that as you go north and south across the equator, it kind of the sun
What's the equator?
mirrors?
What's the equator?
Zero latitude or something?
What's that?
I dare you to look up the definition of the equator.
Fuck, dude.
I dare you to look up the definition of equator.
The entire latitude coordinate system is in the sky. This is like a repeating thickened theme. I'm actually getting kind of sick of it at this point. You know that, right? That latitude and longitude are based upon the sky. They're not based upon any ground components. You can't find, using solely the ground, what your latitude and longitude is. You need the so-called celestial sphere. And that's where they make the prediction of the sun, is where it appears within the celestial sphere. Has nothing to do with the ground. None of the equation has anything to do with the ground. Now, y'all have a cool story explanation that does not have any evidence for it.
So it's a
Longitude is
celestial
based on
sphere,
a
not a
globe.
celestial planet.
Shut up, dude.
What are you claiming that latitude and longitude are based on?
Sky.
What are you claiming they're based on?
So that's not a claim. It's how it is.
It is. Literally is. But click continue.
Oh, it is. Then tell me how you find latitude and longitude without looking at the sky. You can only use the ground,
Latitude and
nothing else.
longitude are coordinate systems used to pinpoint locations on Earth based on angles relative to the angular Earth center and reference meridian.
Yeah, that's cool. If that was true, then you'd be able to find it using the Earth. Now find your latitude and longitude. Now find your latitude and longitude using the Earth. Just the Earth. You're lost in the woods.
It's just you're lost. Geometry. Fucking Greeks figured this shit out, dude. They knew the Earth was fucking around.
It's math, it's geography, it's science, it's logic, it's buzzwords.
They love their Greeks. They love their Greeks so much.
Yeah, you guys doing it. Oh, I can't say that. Fuck.
Backtrack.
So backtrack. Here's your challenge. Find your latitude and longitude, but you can't use anything in the sky. You can only use the ground.
That's what they do.
They use just the ground.
They use angles relative to the Earth's center and a reference meridian.
How would they measure that? Okay, how do they measure that? How do they measure the angle relative to the Earth's center? You're on the surface. You're lost in the woods. Measure the angle to the Earth's center. Lost in the woods.
That's not how you get out.
Yeah,
now it's not how you do it. Amazing.
You fucking retard. First off, that's a bad fucking analogy, okay? Can you give me a better fucking analogy? I'm not gonna fucking answer that bullshit.
It was an analogy.
It was your definition.
Analogy, you fucking retard.
It was your definition.
Not even an analogy. It's literally what you said is happening. It's not even an analogy. Boy, you're stupid.
Yeah. So
you're spiraling too, because you're low IQ.
Well, I mean, look, they used to say it.
Well, you asked me to look it up, and I'm looking up, bitch. So shut the fuck up and let me do it. You asked me to look it up, and I'm doing it. No, I'm doing it. What do you ask me?
Why are you
100% single mom behavior, dude?
You listen to some stupid shit.
Yeah, just go on mute, bro. You were obviously raised by a single mom. And you had siblings, and they all have different last names.
So you mentioned a celestial sphere, but I thought it was a dome.
What do you mean?
Is it a celestial sphere or is it a celestial dome?
The mathematics is a celestial sphere, so it's a model of a celestial sphere that rotates around you.
And
but
do
it's
you agree with that?
observer-centric, so you're always at the center of it, no matter where you are.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's based off of your perspective.
Well,
It's
I
not
agree with
something...
it, but it's a model. It doesn't represent any. It's not physically real.
Is it? But does it make accurate predictions?
Yeah. So what?
So, like, wouldn't a sphere imply that we're on the globe?
Epicycles make accurate predictions. You know what those are? We use lots of concepts and ideas to make accurate predictions, but there's no ultimate reality there. They're just mathematical models.
Well, I mean, you can map out the stars yourself if you traveled the world, and you could see that it is in fact a sphere, right? Because like the constellations and stuff.
Okay.
That's looking at the sky, dude.
Yeah, where'd you get the sphere part?
Yeah, you said you'd see the Earth as a sphere.
Like if you keep going past Australia and swim past Antarctica and go to like Buenos Aires or something, it's gonna wrap back around. It's not like there's no like cutoff point where you can't see past.
How do you know it wraps back around?
Well, I've never personally sailed that way, but I would assume that would be the case, right?
Well, how are you going to sail over Antarctica? Though it's kind of odd that if you look at marinetracker.com, for some reason there's boats 500 miles inland. But that's either here nor there.
Well, you wouldn't sail through, but you'd like sail around it, and you'd still see the sky, right? So like you could pinpoint like, oh, the constellation's here, and now it's there.
You're gonna sail the Southern Ocean at night. Good luck to you. God bless you.
I would assume that cargo ships do it regularly, right?
The Southern Ocean. Do you know what the Southern Ocean is? You can barely sail when it's freaking light out.
Well, like they wouldn't go to the place with like the glaciers or whatever, but they'd like go around that,
So then they wouldn't go into the Southern Ocean. Bro, listen, go on YouTube, look up sailing in the Southern Ocean, dude, and when you see some like 50-foot fucking waves, dude, then you'll know. The Southern Ocean is like the most treacherous waters in the world. That's during the day. But you got to remember, nighttime lasts for a long time. So you're going to go at night, and then what? Crash into freaking some ice? Freaking smash into a wave you couldn't see? See, y'all live in the realm of hypotheticals. Which, oddly enough, most of you can't do. You can't even do the hypotheticals. But let's just say you guys can. You live in, like, La La Land. Like, this. Science is based on empirical evidence, right? Actual observation. You came in here and said, yes, we saw a 24-hour sun. Great. You proved something about the sun. Fantastic. Now, how do you prove the surface of the Earth is curving? There's your dilemma. Because no matter what the sun does, no matter what, it can't prove the ground's curving. No matter what it does. It could frickin' bounce across the sky like a super ball. Does not prove what the Earth's form is.
Well, it's not proof, but it's evidence.
Evidence of what?
Well, if what we see in the sky comports with what we should see on a globe, then that's evidence that we are on a globe. It's not definitive proof, but it's
well, you don't even have the mathematics to make you should see on the globe.
Well, like I mean, you could even like open up a 3D modeling tool and put a little globe and a sun and like put them in the right position and
then put the little camera on your globe. And then we're gonna put the little camera on your globe and then do it that way. Okay, do that and then come back. Maybe you can do it in Blender or something. I've seen somebody try to do that shit in Gary's mod. It don't turn out very well. Star trails really fuck up. Star trails look like you're looking down the fucking straw. Yeah, you guys think we haven't been doing anything like in the last fucking 10 years? Like we just been sitting on our ass, we didn't even done anything. We've done all these tests, so there's people that have simulated star trails from different locations within 3D models, and they don't look like the star trails that you see at night. They look completely different. They look like you're looking down a tunnel or looking up through a cone or something, but they don't look like what we see.
Yeah, I've seen time-lapse videos of star trails in real life, and at the equator they like go in a straight line. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so interesting. Yes. Yes, very interesting.
They do that anywhere whenever you look east or west.
They shouldn't go in a straight line for very long. Shouldn't they tilt?
Well, because like on a globe, if you're at the equator, then you're gonna like be basically seeing straight up.
Yeah, but you forgot about the orbit, remember? Oops.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they wouldn't be circles, right? If you time-lapse more than 24 hours, then they'd be spirals.
The orbit doesn't really matter because of the way the stars are with the zodiac.
What? Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, where they started. So we get like 6 months after the handle of the Big Dipper points east, it points west. How'd it get there? If the stars are going in circles, how'd it get over there? How'd that star that's at the end of the handle on the Big Dipper, how'd it get from being east of Polaris to west of Polaris?
It must be a perspective thing.
Oh, gee, go back on mute, dude.
Happy's back. Welcome back, Happy. Didn't you have something you were going to demonstrate for us?
Hello, what did I say? What did I say before?
Oh, I don't even know. You just left on some kind of wild exit note. I thought you were going to continue, but if you don't remember, we can just reset. It's no problem. Do you still think you live on a globe?
Yeah, probably. Unfortunately for you guys, I guess, yeah.
Oh, why would it be unfortunate for us? I think it's much more unfortunate for you to be living in a fairy tale land and not accepting reality the way it clearly presents itself as flat and stationary. What's your best evidence for a globe?
Can I just like sit here and like listen? Is that okay? Or is the price
Oh,
of admission,
yes,
like,
that's
debate every single
authorized.
time?
Oh, no, that's totally authorized. Yeah, we were talking to Kiba. I don't know if he has any more
Oh, it's this guy again.
questions
He
or
said the same
ideas.
thing yesterday.
Oh, was he here yesterday? Heretic, because we had a lot of fun with him a couple days ago where he was pretending like he wasn't making any claims. Did he make claims yesterday?
That's why he didn't want to talk, because he said the same thing yesterday. He's like, just leave me alone. I don't want to talk anymore.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Oh, I
'cause you
thought
guys
we
are
had
so
fun,
bad faith.
Happy. Oh, I thought we
Like,
had a lot of
it's
fun
pure
together
rhetoric.
before. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Gosh, my memories of our last encounter must be much different than yours.
Yeah, no, Dandelion, you were fine. I think it was the rest of you that were like bad faith.
Oh, it's just Heretic you don't like. Okay.
Whoever Clown Shoe is, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, my only issue last time, Happy, was that you kept asking us questions, saying you were making an internal critique, and then you made a final claim and ran, even though your claim like went against everything that had come before, where you claimed that the globe Earth had better explanations for phenomena than the flat Earth. Do you recall saying that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's where you left off, and then you just left. So what explanations does the globe give you that you think are superior?
Well, for example, before, I believe I recall asking about the specifics of like how the sun actually functions, like in a flat Earth model. Like what's the reason for it orbiting the way that it does? What's the reason why it doesn't just drop down? Like all of this, and you couldn't give me an explanation. And then I recall other models being able to do that with like explanatory power, like orbital mechanics, for example. They're able
Okay. I can't
Yeah.
take this.
Okay, good.
Models
I know you
don't.
do. I
Hold
really
on,
want you.
hold on.
This is the guy I told you about. I really want you to talk to this guy.
Models don't explain things; they describe things. Okay. Orbital mechanics don't even have forces in them; they're kinematic models. Yeah, so they certainly don't explain things.
Orbital mechanics don't have forces in them?
No.
Really?
No. They're a kinematic model.
They don't.
Do you know what a
they don't
kinematic
have,
model
like-
versus a dynamic model? What those are?
No, enlighten me.
Okay, so a dynamic model would have forces where you compute the forces in totality of the forces to figure out the projectile of an object, right? So orbital mechanics have things like period, acceleration, and distance, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay, there's no forces in there, right? It's just plotting the motion based upon geometric principles and how like the acceleration changes over time, right? The period, right? So how does acceleration over time, and how does that acceleration correlate to the distance from the foci of the ellipse? That's it. There's no forces or anything like that.
Well, what I was referencing there was how you have planets that orbit each other, right? So you have
no one's observed planets orbit. No one's observed anything that you're saying.
Really?
No one's observed an orbit of anything ever, Happy. Do you realize
Galileo
that?
get his old telescope and he predicted the orbits of the planets and things like that? Didn't he do that?
No, you're woefully misinformed, bro.
Didn't you learn about that in school as well?
Yeah, but I learned the actual history of what happened. It wasn't Galileo. Galileo used circular orbits, which would be impossible. He actually wrote something called Dialogues and dialogues about the two chief world systems, where he did a mock debate between himself, and there was a layman arguing against him. You know, this is how they did things back then. They had like these mock debates with themselves. But he used circular orbits, so he certainly wasn't the guy. The guy would be Kepler, who came up with elliptical orbits, and that's what modern orbital mechanics is based on. But there's no forces, and obviously, because Kepler comes before Newton, he couldn't have used forces because the whole force idea didn't even exist yet.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense.
So the whole point is that these models, right, we can model kinematically nearly anything because we have lots of mathematical techniques. That doesn't make the models physically real, or that there's some ultimate reality there, because someone else can walk along and make up their own model, and this has happened. It's not like this is a theoretical thing. This actually happened. Epicycles were how planets, the position of planets as we see them, were predicted, and it makes better predictions than Kepler's model, but Kepler's model is preferable because the idea is that it's often said that it was simpler, but it's actually only simpler conceptually, but it's not simpler mathematically. They didn't like the idea of having like these freaking little circles, that the planets were doing spirals. People that back then didn't like those ideas. Because from a third-person point of view, if you look down on the planets in the epicycle model, the planets would do little freaking spirals around the Earth, and the Earth would be in the center. And they didn't like that idea, so they philosophically changed to the heliocentric idea. But that didn't really work. So then because they wanted the circles, so then they changed to the ellipses. So the point of all that is that these models don't explain anything. They just make predictions of what you see at some other point in time. And it doesn't necessarily mean there's an ultimate reality there.
Do you think a good model should have like mathematical predictions that back it?
Models should make predictions, obviously, and then those models should be tested against the reality to see if they're accurate. But that's purely pragmatic. When you jump in and say the model is physically real, you're making a logical leap.
Huh?
Right.
Kingsley, you're hot with Mike.
Oh, you fucking
Okay, you're muted. Jesus fuck, dude. Okay, so I'll give you an example. The entire model of electricity and magnetism is based upon the ether. Now, nobody in modern physics, well, the majority, think ether exists. But the model itself can't operate unless you do think it exists. Right? Electricity and magnetism, like you're using a computer, there's electricity going through it. The entire model of that is based upon there's an ether. And your computer works. And you can type on it, and you can talk to me, and all these things.
Can you help me understand what ether is?
Ether is supposed to be like the substrate of reality, like an incompressible gas or incompressible fluid, that in James Clerk Maxwell's formulation, was events of incompressible spheres, like beads, rolling against each other, and when they rolled in a certain way, that would be a current, and if they rolled in another way, that would be like a magnetic field. And he made this mechanical model of the ether back in the 1870s that gave us the modern theory of electricity and magnetism. Now, Michelson Morley did an experiment where they tried to prove that the ether existed because the Earth would be moving through it. They detected no significant phase shift in where they interfered light, and they concluded that there's no ether that exists. Because the only other conclusion they could reach is the Earth's not in motion. And because they didn't like that, they invented general relativity on how the frickin' arms of the interferometer and the clocks and everything somehow magically change size in the direction of the motion of the Earth. So the motion of the Earth came undetectable by an optical experiment. So with all that being said, the point is that philosophically, just because a model makes predictions doesn't, just as a matter of logic as well, is that just because it makes accurate predictions doesn't mean the model is physically real. This is well known in engineering. I can even give you a citation of a whole treatment on this, is the reasonable ineffectiveness of mathematics, written by an electrical engineer. So that in engineering, they use all sorts of bullshit models to make things happen, but none of it is like, they use things like negative time. Negative time don't exist, man.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I mean, in all sorts of fields, there's interesting manipulations of reality by which things are done to make things make sense or to make things simpler. Like a common example that you guys have is where you post papers where, like, for aerodynamic purposes, they just make sure that the Earth is flat so that they reduce the Coriolis effect and stuff like that, so that it's simpler to look at. And that's one example.
No.
What?
There's no Coriolis simplified, dude. No.
So what? Where did you get the idea that the NASA document of a flat, non-rotating, a linear aircraft model of a flat, non-rotating Earth was done to get rid of the Coriolis effect?
Well, when I read the paper, I mean, I could be completely misreading and misremembering, but when I read the paper, that's what I remember reading. I could be wrong.
Well, they did say they're not using any Coriolis effect, but that wouldn't matter because they couldn't model it with a Coriolis effect anyway. You'd never be able to land an airplane.
Well, anyway,
well, if you're flying north-south, then
piggyback off of what you were saying regarding like what I've seen. Like, I'm not trying to like get you or anything. Like, I'm just
all I'm saying is that you said like they twist reality. They're not twisting reality. They're twisting mathematics, which are abstractions. They don't exist in any reality.
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
They're transcendental quantities. They don't exist anywhere. But we can use these abstractions to like draw correlations between them and things in the world. But that doesn't make whatever the mathematics say anything other than a description of an outcome. And that's it. It's not even a description of what happens. It's just a description of the outcome. Prediction. But the thing is, they don't explain things. So when you say, hey, there's all these explanations, we have models. And then there's explanations of the models. Oftentimes, they don't actually go together. So for instance, we've just been talking about a 24-hour sun. Now, the model to predict when this happened is not a globe Earth model, but there's a globe Earth explanation. So if you look into the mathematics of how this is predicted, there's no globe Earth. You're not on a globe. There's no globe in the math anywhere. Like, it has nothing to do with the globe. But the explanation that the globers give, they don't know that this is the case, and they just think in their head, because there's a globe explanation that says it happens, that the Earth is tilted at 23 degrees, and then the sun's over there, so this part of the Earth is illuminated. You know, that explanation, which is a cool story, has a mathematical backing or a model backing. It doesn't. I'm not saying it couldn't, but it doesn't. That's not how it's done currently.
I understand. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this would be probably done in conjunction with other observations, like seasonal cycles, for example.
What does that even mean? Dude, you sound like you're saying like buzzwords. What's a season?
A season is where it's like, for example, in winter it's colder, in summer it's hotter due to the.
Okay.
Well, in
When do those happen?
Every few months.
Okay. When does spring start?
I don't know.
Okay, let's go. No, let's do this. Summer. When does summer start?
Well, that's the first season, so January.
Yeah, let's just say when does summer start? Let's just go there.
January.
January? You in Australia?
I don't know. When does summer start?
Okay.
Gosh, are you a person?
You kidding me? I'm sorry. It should June 22nd or 23rd is usually the official start of summer, but that's the astronomical summer. You said hot, cold. That's not the same time.
Right.
Hot, cold starts about August. So peak temperature, at least where I live, is about August.
Do you have a belly button? I'm sorry. I'll try to shut up.
And there's places on Earth where the summer and winter temperature are the opposite of what you'd expect, because the temperature is guided by other reasons other than the quote unquote seasons. So in San Francisco, it's colder in the summer than the winter, but that's because of water currents, right? It chills freaking San Francisco in the summer, and the temperature is like a couple degrees lower. So there's other factors, geographical and wind currents, water currents, all that stuff, which determine the temperature. Okay,
Right.
these are called meteorological seasons, and then there's the astronomical seasons. So you're conflating I'm not blaming it on you. This is how it's presented in school and other places. Hey, there's these things called seasons. It's based upon the tilt of the Earth. It's when it gets hot and cold, but those two aren't actually correlated the way they make it out like it is. There's no causal link
between the Earth's tilt and the temperature.
Right. You have a correlation, but not, well, first of all, the Earth isn't tilting. It would be when the sun is low in the sky, which also correlates to the length of day.
Right.
So the day, like summer, the days are longer, right? So you have a 16-hour day. It's probably no surprise that it's warmer.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But their tilt theory is that the surface area of a tilted globe is you get more sunlight spread over a larger surface, more direct sunlight on a particular part of the ball because the angle that it's tilted at the Earth. Right, so that's like the explanation, but the mathematics are based completely on a celestial sphere, and you're a point at the origin of coordinates, right? See the celestial sphere. Where's the sun's path in it? That's it. They don't see no orbit. They don't see no tilt. They don't see no spinning Earth. They don't see nobody's ever seen any of this stuff. It's just a model.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Like, I think that what they teach in school is that part of it is based on the tilt, and then throughout like various time periods, like throughout different time periods of the year, then different parts of the Earth receive the sun's more direct rays.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Listen. We all know. Listen, everybody in here, we used to be globe earthers, man. We all heard the same stuff you heard, right? The difference is between us and you is we went and checked, okay? And there's a key component to the Earth being a globe, and that means the surface of the water of the Earth, which is mostly water, has to be curving at a prescribed rate, and if it's not a ball. That's the only dichotomy that you have. Look, because we could listen.
That's fine.
There's an infinite amount of models for any. There's an infinite amount of arbitrary models for any data set. Meaning, you could, if you had the time and energy, you could make an infinite amount of models that will make predictions of any phenomenon observed. Period. So, how do you tell the difference using not models but like measurements of the thing in question? So the thing in question is that would solve it, which is not ambiguous. Things like Eratosthenes, which depending on your presuppositions, Earth or flat, you get the same result. So what can we do to get something that's a true dichotomy? Well, a ball can't have a flat surface, and a flat surface can't have a curving. A flat Earth can't have a curving surface, and we can just test if the surface of the Earth is curving or not curving, and know for certain one way or another, without speculation and assumptions or any of that stuff. We can know just by direct measurement.
So how about this? I will go out. I will do a test. I will say like, Happy here doing a flat Earth test. Is there a specific test that you want me to do?
I mean, is there that I want you to do? I mean,
did you recommend?
Where are you? Yeah, where are you?
I'm in
Australia. You near any large body of water? Where are you at? Like generally, you don't need to tell me your freaking house number.
Yeah. So I can go out to like the beach or something. That's fine.
Are you near Dover?
Like Dover? No, I'm near like I can go out to like Darling Harbor, or I can go out to like any large body of water.
You're in Australia?
Yeah, that's correct.
We hook you up with people. As a matter of fact, where's frickin' Stacy?
Yeah, we got to get her in here.
There are other Australians here, right? I think Des is Australian. He's got a picture of Australia.
Yeah, Des is here. You're right. Maybe he has a suggestion for you. I could show you Stacy. Have you seen Salt Lake Stacy's YouTube channel? I feel like you might like that.
I can have a look.
She's from Australia. I'll find it for you.
All right, cheers.
Look, I mean, it depends on what level of, like, you could just go out and look, right? You could just go out and look, and hey, do I see that boat? Is it far away? Do I not? That's not really, that's good, but it's not the best. The best way to do it would be to take a laser and shine it a significant distance so you can actually measure it.
Right.
So what you would do is you would measure it off the surface of the water, see its height, then go to the other end of the laser, say 10 miles away, and measure its height above the water again. So in 10 miles, it should be 66 feet above the water. Right? So if you go 10 miles away at the other end of the laser and it's hitting you in your eye, obviously it's not a ball. Unless you're 66 feet tall. I mean, maybe you're the Jolly Green Giant. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Did you think that the Earth was curving that much?
Not that we can observe. I don't think the Earth is curving to the point where we can observe and say, like, oh, hey, look, it's curving.
No, I don't mean the left or right. I mean the far away, right? So as things go into distance, they should be dropping down. Did you realize that the globurrr prediction is that 10 miles away, the Earth should be dropped down 66 feet?
What's the formula that they use for that?
Well, I mean, there's a couple you can use. Pythagorean theorem. There's one you could use. But I'll give you something.
Because I don't think the Pythagorean theorem accounts for curvature, but I could be wrong.
You're only calculating the drop, the Pythagorean theorem.
Okay.
It's actually a very easy formula.
Yeah, like a squared plus.
So the drop would be drop equals square root of r squared plus object distance, that's o squared minus r. But I'll post in the chat. I'll post a calculator. This is a globurrr freaking curve calculator, not mine. So all the formulas are in this calculator, so you can see them besides the values, right? How each variable is calculated. So, but generally, you can just use the 8 inches per mile squared, which is accurate for nearly 1,000 miles within like 1%. So, given that value, the drop, the surveyor drop, is 66 feet from eye level. Well, it could be actually any level. It would just be like, from my eye level, how much, or foot level, or frickin' 10 feet above my foot, we draw a straight line straight out into space. How far does the surface of the Earth drop down? And at 10 miles, that's 66 feet.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I guess I'll go out. I'll buy a laser. I'll do some observations, and you have to promise me, like, because if my experiment goes and I realize that the Earth is flat, then yeah, I will for the moment become a flat earther until I can do
We're
some
not
more
trying to turn
tests.
you into a flat earther, dude. Like, if you go out, you do an experiment, whatever the results are, they are. And if you want to stick your head back in the sand, I don't care. We are not trying to turn you into a flat earther. I don't know where you people get that idea.
Okay, no. Like, I think what I'm trying to say is I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna be intellectually honest, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're trying to turn me into a
Okay.
flat earther.
Okay. So what it's like, we're here. We give information that people didn't previously know. So I gave you some. I'm sure that you didn't previously know. You like a lot of people. They believe in the globe, but they don't know anything about it. They don't know any details and any particularities, and they think like right now. You probably didn't think the Earth dropped down 66 feet in 10 miles. It gets even worse. In 30 miles, it's 420 feet. Now you probably use like the metric system, right? So if you're 1.92 meters off the surface of the Earth, okay, and you shine to a spot 40 kilometers away from you, that laser should be 127 meters off the surface of the Earth. Yeah, that's like a 47-story building. Okay?
It's pretty tall.
42-story building, rather. That's how high the laser should be 40 kilometers away. You should have to look up to see the laser. And it ain't going to be close even when you look up. It's going to be way the hell up there. So, a lot of people don't realize that this is what the globe mathematics predicts. And we're telling them. They say it's a globe. They say all this stuff. But if you go out and check, you're going to find out there's no globe out there. It only exists on TV and books or magazines. Or by word of mouth in people's imaginations. But it doesn't exist out there in the natural world.
I have a random question that I thought of. So like, if you go to like the edge of Australia and you go to a beach and you point a telescope in the direction of like, I don't know, New Zealand, for example, and you get a telescope and you zoom it in really, really far.
Telescopes don't zoom, bro. Telescopes have fixed. Don't have.
You're right.
Telescopes don't have variable to zoom. Can't zoom it in real far.
You're right. Okay, so let's say that you have a fixed telescope, right, or like a device that you can would be able to see New Zealand from, and you point it to New Zealand. Would you be able to see New Zealand?
How far away is it?
I'm not sure, but it's pretty far away.
More than 200, more than 300 kilometers?
The answer is no.
Yeah, the answer is no, dude. Open up a weather app and look at your visibility. That's not a globe Earth calculation. Just open up a weather app and look at the visibility.
Yeah, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I kind of expected that. And that's fine. Like, I agree.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you expect it? Like, literally,
right, yeah.
Sailors use it to know to figure out how far they can see it at sea. Pilots use it to know how far away they can be till they see the runway. And there's no globe involved in that calculation. It's just the opacity of the air. And it doesn't matter how big of a telescope you get, because light comes to the telescope, you don't see out, right? So having a bigger telescope don't fix the problem.
Right. Okay.
The problem is that the average thing you're looking at has very poor reflectivity, so you won't be able to see it at that distance regardless.
Yeah, you got to remember this. You're trying to look at reflected New Zealand, light reflecting off of New Zealand, whatever that would be.
I mean, well, if you read what Rob says, hold on, bro. If you read what Rob says himself, then you're going to come away knowing that the whole damn thing was photoshopped and made out of thin air and has nothing to do with reality. That's why he's reaching and saying that, oh, he touched it up and he got the original. What'd you say, the original from the Apollo missions? How did that connect with Robert Simmons? I'd like you to elaborate on that, please.
Maybe I'm mistaken, but when I brought up the images of the Earth, I wasn't even talking about the Robert Simmons ones. I was talking mainly about the Apollo 17 ones.
Okay,
so I think those are better ones.
Apollo 11. It's not Apollo 17.
It is Apollo 17. The blue marble image is from Apollo 17.
That blue marble image is Apollo 11.
No, it's Apollo 17.
The one Matt posted.
I mean, there's like a unedited here. I could post the unedited version of the Apollo 17.
How do you know if it's unedited? You're just saying that
in chat.
Well, the color's touched out, but yeah, the one I posted at 55 past the hours on the Apollo 17 website.
That's an Apollo 11 image. It's not Apollo 15 or 17.
That is Apollo 17. That's.
So you're saying they got it wrong? I think they did several.
Blue Marble, the original Blue Marble.
The original one is from Apollo 10 or something, but this one is from the 17.
No, it's from Apollo 11. This is the one he just posted. It's just upside down. They flip it when they display it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we've established
Apollo
this,
17.
No one based upon the transcript, they have no idea when this was taken. Okay. How do you know this is a picture of the Earth?
Because there's Africa right there. It's
yeah,
the
but
Earth.
How do you know that's what the Earth looks like, dude?
Because we know the shape of Africa, and that's what Africa looks like.
How do we know that? How do we know that?
Because we've taken cartography.
Because we've taken cartography. Really? Because we've taken.
I'm sure some people have, but we've measured Africa. We know what it looks like. We know the shape of Africa.
Oh, we know what it looks like. By how? By sailing around it with a boat. We know what it looks like.
I mean, that's the simplest way to do it, yes, but there are more complicated measures of doing it.
Okay. You have no way of telling that this is a picture of the Earth. Period. End of story. You could even have the negative, but you have no idea if they photographed the Earth. This could just be a photograph of a painting.
Why do you think it's photographed? Or why do you think it's photoshopped? First of all,
I didn't say Photoshop. I said this could be a photograph of a painting.
Why do you think it's a painting?
Listen really closely. This could be a photograph of a painting. I don't have to think it's anything because I don't have to believe their story at all.
So it just seems like you're not believing any sort of evidence that I bring forward, no matter what.
The evidence is their claim. There's the evidence. Just like if they showed, here's Santa Claus going around the Earth, I could either believe it or not believe it. It's impossible to evaluate the image.
But there's a bunch of reasons. You won't accept anything that I bring forward.
Don't talk about what I will and won't accept. It's just rhetorical garbage. It's just rhetorical garbage.
Rhetorical garbage?
How did you evaluate this? Let me ask you, rhetorical garbage. So this image, how did you evaluate whether that was a picture of the Earth?
I looked at it and said,
I looked at it. And you referred it to what? And you referred it to what?
Maps of Africa.
Maps. What, Mercator maps?
Yeah, Mercator.
Does Mercator map accurately represent the size of Africa?
No.
Okay, then what did you compare it to? So you compared it to something it's not?
What?
You compared it. You just said that the Mercator map is actually not Africa.
Yeah.
And that's what you compared it to. So you compared it to something that it's not.
So the size of Africa gets distorted by
well, how would you even know? Yeah, and that's funny. How would you even know that?
Because we know that having
who's we, dude?
Ball, it's general knowledge, right? That
it's not general knowledge, dude.
Can you let anything finish, dude? Every time I try to speak,
because you're full of shit, massive shit, dude.
No, it's just because you're scared of letting me finish. If I actually finished a sentence, you wouldn't.
Okay, has everybody in here heard his claim?
Questions.
Yeah, he starts every sentence with a lie. He makes everything up as he goes along.
No, I've heard all your claims. You've said lots of claims. You've stacked them higher than the frickin' moon. Okay, we've heard them all. I asked you what you compared this to. You said maps. I said, like the Mercator map? You said, yeah. I said, is that accurate? You said, no. So you compared it to something you know isn't accurate to evaluate this is accurate. That doesn't make sense, and you know it doesn't make sense. You're trying to run away from it. The fact of the matter is, you have nothing to compare this to. You've never seen the Earth from this point of view. You have no reference. from which to even know if this is what the Earth looks like at all.
Are you
Nothing.
done?
You have no reference.
Okay,
Yeah, no, I'm not done. And then even if you did have a reference, there's no way you could tell that this is a photograph of the Earth and not just a photograph of a painting or a model or fucking any other thing. The fact of the matter is, you either have to just believe the claims of the people that claim they said, I took a photograph of the Earth, or you don't. There's no way you can analyze this with any objective method.
Dude, you can do this with anything. It's like literally if you
Santa
just want
Claus?
to be a hyper.
Can we do it with Santa Claus?
I mean, if you want to be a hyper skeptic about literally
I'm not being a
everything
hyper skeptic.
Yes, you are.
So it's hyper skeptic.
You're not accepting any sort of like material evidence being
can I ask you a
provided to
question?
you. You're just being a hyper skeptic.
Yeah, stop with the meta, dude. Stop with the meta.
You're
Stop
not
with the
even
meta.
doing it to
Stop
like
with the
in a
meta, dude.
general. You're
Stop
not
with
even
the
letting
meta.
me finish. It's crazy.
Yeah,
You're
stop
so
with the
scared
meta
of it.
because no one cares about.
You're
no
so
one cares
terrified
about.
of letting
Dude,
anybody
no one
finish.
cares about your
'Cause
meta
every single
bullshit
time-
about
every
what I
single
think or
time-
what I feel.
Bro. Simple as that, all right?
Bird lawyer. Nobody cares about your
Every single time.
pop
Every
sociological
single time.
analysis of how I think or how I feel. Nobody cares. I'm asking you about objective evidence. You're saying it's hyper skeptical to believe that people didn't fly to land in the fucking sky. That's not hyper fucking skeptical.
I don't know why you're so scared, man. Like,
Yeah,
I guess it
look,
makes
your
sense
meta is not
because,
working. No one's buying it, Bird. You can try and try and try, dude. It's not going to work.
It is.
It's definitely going to work. If I keep talking about him, then I can continuously deflect from the fact that my evidence sucks.
Well, you literally have interrupted me every single time I've tried to speak. So, like,
no, you made a claim and I responded to it, but you want to keep, bro. You made claims and I respond to your first sentence, and then you keep trying to talk. But I'm not letting you make
because you've interrupted me every single time I've tried to finish.
Because you're not going into narrative, dude. You're saying things.
Wait. So I want you to make
this is a simple question. If you have a false premise in a proposition, can anything be true after your false? No, Birdward, shut your pie hole. Shut your pie hole, brother. If you have a false premise in a proposition, can anything after that be true? Yes or no? Can anything part of your conclusion be true? Nope. If you start with a false premise, yes or no?
Well, I haven't even finished my premise. And
you don't need to finish. You start with a false premise, dude. Are you retarded?
Yeah, you not only do that, like you keep floating from claim to claim, starting with a false premise that we can't just let stand because then whatever you say after it is irrelevant, but you also just keep repeating yourself, filibustering, so on and so forth. So you don't have any evidence of your globe. You have nothing but faith in your globe. You refuse to acknowledge that. You don't seem interested when I mentioned to you that the expected drop over distance predicted by the geometry over the sphere is never actually measured in reality. I mean, that's the most interesting part of the whole argument, but you didn't even ask anything about that. You just go back to your fantasy pictures, which Indio asked you several times.
The most important part, that's how we know this image is fake, is because the water that's in this image is supposed to drop at 8 inches per mile squared. When we go out in reality, the water doesn't do that. So if you're claiming this is the Earth we're measuring directly, and it shows curved water, and there's not actually no curved water on Earth, then we know this image is fake. Period. Doesn't matter what they say about it.
Yep. We know all your globe images are fake. I mean, it's not really our problem if you are not willing to accept reality, Bird Lawyer. I don't know. I mean, we can unmute him, but you're dishonest in your arguments. So if you don't see why that is, and why you have to get muted, and why we have to stop you after you're spewing lies, when we know for sure that your fantasy globe image is fake, then I don't know what to do for you. Is there anybody else? There's Carmelo. Oh yeah, Carmelo had number two. Number two. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Oh, I got beef for Carmelo. Let's go.
Well, I'm going to say one more thing about this burglar. Burglar is very simple. If you start a proposition with a false premise, no words after it matter unless those words are, oh shit, my premise was false. Let me fix that. Okay, you can't reach any conclusion that's true with a false premise.
You don't even let them get there, but like you just interrupt them.
Bro, are you serious? Did you just hear what I said? Tell me what I just said. Tell me what I just said. Repeat it back to me.
Yeah. You said that like you can't like have a conversation based off a false premise, but he was never.
No, that's not what I said.
It's
no, that's
pretty
not what I said. That's not what I said. It's not verbatim.
Okay,
it's not close. I said you can't reach a conclusion that's true if your proposition has a false premise.
But he never got to his proposition.
His premise is part of the proposition. You fucking baboon.
You know, you never even got to his proposition.
The premise is part of the proposition. You baboon.
He never even got to his premise.
A proposition is premise 1, premise 2, conclusion.
He never even got to his premise. You spoke one sentence and you overtalk him like a baboon.
The one sentence is the premise.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, it's that. What was his one sentence? I love crayons. And then he started talking, right?
Wait, let me ask him a question, Indio.
What's up?
Dude, you're a dishonest slime ball, dude.
When did you stop beating
y'all need, I don't even know what, dude. I can't even say what y'all need.
About the time we got a divorce.
Yeah, so that's you see, there's a false premise there. You can't just lead and continue on with a false premise. Anyway, I got a question for you. I got smoke for you there, Carmelo.
What's up? Oh, hold on. Before you do that, I gotta show this thing real quick because that one woman said something really retarded earlier, and it was that
So you're just gonna.
No. I'm here to talk to the woman. I'm not here to talk to the three of y'all at once.
We're gonna do that.
The woman has a name. It's Mary Mom or Daniel.
I'm a flat earther and I'm retarded.
Yeah,
you're not a flat earther. You're just retarded.
Dandelion. What I'm going to put in the side chat is the exact time and day backtracked on a solar map for the Earth. Can you explain for the class, like the really dumb thing you said earlier about how it doesn't match up with this image here?
He's running away.
No, I'm actually like with the premise here.
How what doesn't match up? What's not?
Yeah, so she made the really dumb claim earlier that like the lighting on the Earth here doesn't match up with what should be expected at that time in day. She said it wasn't even close.
Okay, what day do you have here? What day?
I have
this from time and date?
Yeah, December 7th, 1972 at 10:40 UTC.
Okay, nobody knows when that photograph was taken, brother.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, no, they don't. There's a whole website dedicated to figuring out when that photograph was taken. So don't just say, yeah, they do.
It's pretty easy to figure out. I did it in like 10 seconds.
No, bro. How do you know when the photograph was taken? What time?
By taking a look at the light that is shown on that map, on that image,
brother.
And tracking it across here.
You would need a priori knowledge of when the photo was taken to input into the light on the map, dude. How do you know when the photo was taken?
Dog, look. Here, I'll show you. It's so
how far away were they from the Earth when they took this photograph?
It's so easy to do. Here you go.
How far away were they from the Earth when they took the photograph?
Not a clue. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
You guys realize like most of the satellite data is public, right?
What? What now?
Most of the satellite data is public.
That's nonsense.
That makes like
no, you're just making shit up. No, it's not.
It is though.
No, it's not though. You guys just come in here and just say shit you've never actually researched and looked into. Don't you think we checked? So Himawari, let's take Himawari for instance. Not even academics. Not even academics. Okay, so you're just going to talk over me. No, you're not. So, Kamala, we want to know where the camera was when it took the photograph, what time it was.
Hello.
Hello. Good. Have you ever been in the Flat Earth channel before?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Have you ever heard anything about flat Earth?
A little bit, just like surface level.
What did you hear?
Honestly, it's like meme videos, like made to make fun of flat earthers.
The usual, yeah, we know about those.
Yeah.
So you might think that did these meme videos and little joke propaganda items show the flat Earth as being a disk flying through space?
Like no, I don't know your arguments properly.
Well, that's not our argument. That's why I'm trying to tell you that that's not it, 'cause that's usually the misconception. So I'm just telling you that is not what we think.
I don't know any of your positions.
Oh, great. He's a blank slate. We love those. Yeah, so the main idea is that there's no globe because the globe has never been demonstrated in reality. You, Rocky, have never experienced a globe. You've only experienced the Earth as flat and stationary. And, I mean, there's a whole bunch of main arguments. I mean, we could start with water being flat, right? We could start with that. Do you like that one? Water's flat and it covers over 70% of the Earth. What do you think about that?
What do you think water's flat? Water is flat.
Yeah, well, when you go to the ocean, have you been to the ocean lately?
Yeah, I love the beaches.
Super. And when you look out there, does the horizon look flat to you?
Actually, no. So I don't know if this is something you can view with your eyes, but theoretically and also in practice, if something is a certain distance away from you, even if it's over the ocean, at some point you won't see it, right? Because theoretically it's supposed to go under the curvature of the Earth.
That's what they say, but they're wrong. They who say that it does not go over the curvature.
Okay.
Yeah, because well, one, there is no curvature; it's never been measured. But two, a lot of times, if you think this item, maybe it's a boat, is going outside your field of view, if you had a zoom camera or even binoculars, you could bring it back into your view because it's only appearing to disappear from, it's only appearing to disappear. I mean, it is disappearing from your vision, but it's not disappearing from the Earth. It's not disappearing behind any curve. It's just going outside of your range of vision, which is limited due to the nature of your eyeball.
So hang on, so hang on, can you go into more detail on that explanation of why you can't see it?
Yeah.
I can, if you don't want
to. Go ahead, Larry. Yeah, take it over, because I'm pretty tired, and you sound very perky.
I'm on keto, so get used to that. So the whole aperture thing, it limits the resolvability of the object that you're trying to look at in the distance. So imagine you have two bricks at 100 yards away. With your naked eye, you'll be able to determine there's two bricks there. But at a mile away, if you could see the bricks at all, it's going to appear to be one brick. Does that make sense?
I get that, yeah.
So if you pull out a really big,
see an object, you just can't make it out, right?
Right. So they converge, right? So if you look at the two bricks like converging into one brick stacked on top of the other, what would happen if a boat is converging with the ocean that it's on? It's going to appear to converge into one object in a way, and you're only going to see the top of the boat because the sky's the limit, whereas the bottom of the boat, the ocean is the limit.
What does that mean? Like just the water is covering the... Oh, okay. It blended in with the...
It's called the Rayleigh criterion. Rayleigh criterion.
Okay. So now, let's assume you're right about that. Going based on that assumption, that would mean that there's a situation possible where with your naked eye, you cannot see anything. It looks like there's nothing there. But if you had the aid of anything ocular, like a telescope or something, now you can make it out, right?
Right, but there's also limits to how big the telescope could be. So let's say you got like a 24-inch telescope, you're not going to be able to bring in the Eiffel Tower from New York City, right? It's just impossible.
Okay, I agree with you, but there should be a case where you see nothing with your eye, and then you bring a tool out, and now you can't see it, right?
Yeah, telescope. Yeah.
Right, but I don't know if that experiment has been performed where you see nothing with your naked eye, and then all of a sudden you bring your telescope out and you do see something.
How do you think they find stars? How do you think they find new stars?
With telescopes.
Right. So they don't see anything there. They pull out the telescope, and then now they can resolve the star, which they couldn't see before, and they get to name it. So this kind of thing happens all the time, right? People use binoculars and they use all sorts of things to help their vision. But the Rayleigh criterion is a real thing. I would encourage you to look into it. And if the increase of the aperture increases your ability to resolve things, then if you decrease the aperture, it would decrease your ability to resolve things. So if things are converging, then is it possible the boat is a thing and it could converge into the ocean because the limitation of your eyes? Please continue.
Oh, I was just going to mention before, it goes away, that what I was talking about before, I put an example for you at 45 minutes after the hour, Rocky, and I tagged you, where you see how this is what we're talking about. They're zooming in on the ship that's at the horizon, but then when they zoom back out, like if you were at the shore, you don't see it, and then you zoom in on it. So, like, if you had seen, like, if this ship were, going toward the horizon, you would have seen it possibly go outside of your field of view. But when you use something to help your vision, like a zoom camera, which is used in this particular instance, then you can see it again. So it didn't disappear. It never disappeared. I mean, how would the water have even curved at all? I mean, you don't observe water to curve in a container, right? Water is level and flat in a container. That's the nature of water. So that's what we're talking about. I've observed it myself on the shore of Lake Michigan. Platter gave you another example there. There's many, 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 many examples. So, yep, that's not proof of your globe.
Okay. So I just want to go ahead and say what you're describing about this is absolutely a reality. Like I don't reject that notion where, if an object is far enough, your naked eye can't see it, but then a tool can help you see it, right? But I want to separate a difference between if you can't see it just based on pure distance, or if you can't see it based on an obstruction. Right? If it was an obstruction, then there's no tool, no matter how good, that could help you see it, right? We agree on that?
Yeah, we totally agree. Yeah, that's why the other part of the flat earth argument, I started out with water, and then Larry gave you some more details about the limitations of human vision and so on. So yeah, the next argument I would make would have to do with the alleged obstruction that there would have to be if you lived on a sphere with the radius of 3,959 miles as claimed. If you did live on said sphere, then you would observe a drop over distance, which would increase at a rate of 8 inches per mile squared, which would result in a vertical drop of 66 feet at 10 miles and 266 feet at 20 miles, so on and so forth. And we don't actually observe this in reality. I mean, in fact, I'll show you, I'll put one in the side chat here. We have a laser test done in British Columbia at 28 miles, where the laser hit the target, and the target should have been obscured behind hundreds of feet of obstruction, as you call it. So this obstruction that would be expected if we lived on a sphere is not actually observed in reality.
Right. So I think both could be the case. I think it could be a matter of mere distance, and whatever lens you're looking through isn't weak enough, right? Because your eyes are also a lens. But there's this separate case where it's an obstruction, and the way we can separate whether the boat or whatever is obstructed and not just that it's out of our field of whatever our camera can comprehend should be elevation, right? Can we agree with that? If, for example, you're looking at something with your eyes and you see nothing, like over the horizon, over the sea, whatever. But now if you were to elevate this object and all of a sudden you see it, even with your same equipment, whether it's your eyes or whatever, and you see it just based on the difference of elevation, shouldn't that technically prove that it was being obstructed and not...
Why would you say a zoom? Well, one, why would you say a zoom camera is changing elevation? I don't understand that part. But yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought you already conceded the point that things don't disappear over the horizon. That's why I thought when you mentioned obstruction, you were moving on.
No, I think they
do the geometric argument. But what I don't even understand why you would say that zooming in on this boat would have any effect at all on elevation. What are you talking about?
So the elevation argument is that, okay, if you're looking at something, so let's just say with your naked eye, no camera, nothing. But if you're looking at something that's supposed to be far enough to go over the curvature of the Earth, right? Technically, if that object now gets elevated, you should be able to see it, right?
How are you elevating these objects? Are you levitating them? Did you levitate the target hundreds of feet in British Columbia to make the laser meet it? I mean, I'm sorry, this just makes zero sense to me at all. These things are not being elevated. They're being leveled and measured and observed across a level surface. That's why water is used for this purpose.
No, but can you agree with the theory I'm proposing? The theory aspect.
No, because you're randomly saying something's elevated, and I don't know, you have like a magic force elevating it. I have no idea what you're talking about. You just said the word elevated many times.
If it were to be elevated.
Why would I even talk about that when we've already done many tests with no elevation at all, completely level, that demonstrate there's no sphere anyway? And
because
Indio,
the elevation would help go over the obstruction. I could draw it out for you if you guys.
You're presupposing that an obstruction is the only reason you wouldn't see the bottom of something in the first place.
Say again?
You're presupposing that some sort of thing must be blocking it. Right? Yep. So I'm going to show you an image where it can't possibly be obstructed by the curvature of the Earth, okay? But it is. You can only see half this boat. Okay. So this was taken on a lake that's 1,000 feet long. Now, according to the globe, you should be able to see all the way across this lake to the other side. The horizon should be 2,600 feet away, which is more than double the size of the lake itself. So why can't we see this boat?
What is that piece in the middle? Is that part of the boat or is it water?
That's the top of the. It's a little RC boat. That's the top of it. Yes.
Okay. And you said, can you repeat what you said about
the lake is 1,000 feet long. This boat's about 700 feet from the camera. But if you punch in from this camera height, which is 1.5 inches, the horizon should be on a globe 2,400 feet from the camera.
Okay. But this to me is what I was saying about elevation. Why is it you can see the top of the boat but not the bottom?
Okay, that's the problem. This can't possibly be Earth curve causing this.
Explain.
Because the lake is 1,000 feet long and the horizon is supposed to be 2,600 feet away.
Meaning it's too small.
Rather. Meaning it can't reach the horizon that should be blocking it.
Okay.
Because the lake ain't big enough. But regardless, we see this, right? There should be no horizon at all.
But hang on. Do we agree that this is an obstruction?
It's disappearing before the Earth curve. No, I don't agree it's an obstruction.
Okay.
At all.
If it's not an obstruction, why is it that you can see the top but nothing else?
Well, who cares?
Doesn't that mean the rest of the boat is obstructed from our vision?
No, it doesn't mean that.
Why?
Well, it doesn't even matter why, because we know this can't be Earth curve causing it.
But hang on, yeah, I think it does matter.
We know it can't. Rocky, do you understand? We did this experiment to eliminate Earth curve as a variable. So this variable, this test, Earth curve can't possibly be the cause, no matter what.
Well, hang on. The earlier explanation that Dandelion brought up is that it's physically too far for you to see it, right?
Yeah. No, not as physical. That wasn't her argument.
Hang on, she's arguing
not that it was physically too far.
When you stop seeing things, it's just a matter of distance. It's because they're too far from
some things, but when they appear to be cut off, it isn't Earth curve that's cutting them off.
So then what is it?
Well, I could tell you, but you're not even going to understand the explanation.
You don't want to try?
Yeah, at least tell
I do this all the time, and it always sucks because you guys just never understand.
Well, maybe somebody's out there that will understand, Indio. I'll listen for the 17th time, and maybe I'll understand it better too.
I don't really want to, because it's pointless to even tell you, because we know what it's not. You know how you do a scientific experiment, and you have confounding variables, and then you eliminate the confounding variables so that you can test the thing you actually want to test? So what we're trying to test is this qualitative observation. Hey, this looks like I can't see the bottom. Is that Earth curve or not? Well, we can say, hey, we'll take a known flat surface. We'll see if we can get the same qualitative description. And we do. We don't even need to know the reason, because we know what it's not the reason. We know the reason we can't see the bottom of the boat is not Earth curve.
So, okay.
But the reason is something called total internal reflection, meaning the light that's reflecting off the bottom of the boat doesn't have a path to the camera, and it gets reflected down under the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have no idea what that is, do you?
Say again?
You have no idea what that is, do you? Like total internal reflection. It's an optical phenomenon.
I'm an engineer for building, and I've studied daylighting, lighting, and illuminance for a long time.
Okay, so if you have a camera, right, and there's so we have the critical angle, and this boat is from this height. The critical angle is very shallow, right? So you have a gradient, and instead, like light within that denser gradient will reflect off the less dense gradient if that light hits that boundary at an angle shallower than the critical angle, and it will get reflected down under the level of the camera. This has been demonstrated experimentally, peer-reviewed papers on it. Can give you a diagram, right? So the light that is reflecting off the bottom of this boat, it has no optical path to the camera, because it's just being reflected down under the camera. And if you notice any of these ships over the horizon videos, if you look close, you'll almost always, invariably, see an inferior mirage. Right? So right at the boundary of the horizon, you'll see a double image. Right? It'll be a thin layer, a thin double image layer. Right? Mm-hmm. So it goes into this duct, and it never escapes to even reach the camera. But the light that enters that duct is the bottom of the boat. Is the light that is reflecting off the bottom of the boat. It just can't reach the camera. So obviously you won't be able to see the bottom of the boat.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know how you can be confident that that explains what you're showing.
Because we know this is a flat surface, and I don't need to know the reason. And because it's been demonstrated experimentally, where they actually took vertical temperature measurements, profiles, observed the mirror from 1.5 kilometers away, and filmed the mirror, and it would just disappear from sight, where they couldn't see it no more. We're talking about a big mirror, like a 1 foot by 1 foot square mirror, and it would just disappear. And they were wondering, why does this thing just keep disappearing? So they went out and they measured the temperature gradient at the mirror, the humidity, the temperature, the pressure. They noticed that when there was a strong gradient, that's when the mirror would vanish. And then when they modeled it all out, it turned out to be consistent with total internal reflection. And I'll post the published paper in the chat.
And the horizon is not geometric place anyway.
But the point is, we don't even need to know why, because we're showing it happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
because we know that, listen, in this image, there should be no horizon at all. At all. It shouldn't even exist. You should be able to see all the way to the other shore, no problem. And a bunch of these observations have been made on this lake. There's one where you can't see the boat at all, right? But you can see, because it's a RC boat, right? And the water will spray up in the air. You can't see the boat, but you can see the water spraying up in the air. That the boat is sending up into the air. Right? So we've done lots of these observations. Other ones that are super, completely calm lake where there's a light way up in the distance and they just lower the camera. And as they lower the camera, the light just vanishes.
Okay.
And it can't, but the thing is, but these are at distances too short to be Earth curve. You understand that part? These are before the horizon. So the horizon's supposed to be where the Earth curve starts and blocks things. These tests are happening in front of the horizon.
Okay. I get what you're saying. But scientifically, that doesn't necessarily prove that cannot happen at higher distances. I'll give you an example.
Typically, you can't prove that it doesn't happen at higher distance. What does that even mean, bro?
Okay, so just at this distance, you've ruled out going over the curvature of the Earth, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that
I can give you the further distance scale. Okay, if you scale this up, this boat would be 50 feet tall. The horizon, the boat would be 12.7 kilometers away, and the camera would be 2 meters high.
I get it. But just because curvature isn't a factor here, and we still can't see the boat, doesn't mean that curvature is never a factor.
Yeah, but how is it going to be evidence?
Okay, I'll show you. So there is an experiment that was done, and this is what I was alluding to earlier with elevation, where someone, and he was a flat earther.
Yeah, Jeranism bullshit, dude.
Huh?
Just stop.
What?
Just stop, dude. Really? Really? This is what you came with, Jeranism. Netflix.
What?
I know what you're going to say, dude. 2 holes in a board, Jeranism picked up the light, 100%. And then you could see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're an engineer, so you know what diffraction. So hold on, Migo. So you know what diffraction is.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what it is.
What did you say? Diffraction?
Yes, diffraction.
No, I can tell you refraction. I don't know what diffraction.
No, diffraction. So when light passes through a hole, it spreads out. Diffraction.
When light passes through a hole.
Yeah, when light passes through a narrow aperture, it spreads out.
Yes, okay.
It's diffracted, okay? So you got two boards with holes, and every time the light goes through the hole, it spreads out. Now, the possibility of you aligning 2 boards with 6-inch freaking diameter holes across 1.6 kilometers so that you can shine a flashlight through them, it's near impossible. You couldn't do it. And the reason he could see the light when he lifted it over the boards is because the boards weren't in the way.
Wasn't it? My understanding of that experiment was it was 2 holes. One was lower, one was higher. There wasn't just nothing.
They're supposed to be aligned. The holes are supposed to be aligned at the same height, right? And they're supposed to shine a laser at a laser at the same height, but they fried the laser, so they tried it with a flashlight.
So he was always a...
So they had 2 observations where they saw the light and 2 where they didn't. There's emails between Jeranism and the frickin' producers saying as much. But they selectively edited it so that he says that's interesting, even though he didn't say that at the time he did the experiment. He said it frickin' 4 hours before. Okay? So they made that clip look like bullshit. But the part where they lift the light over the boards, of course you're gonna see it. Because the boards are blocking the light.
So
well, hang on. How can the boards be blocking the light?
It's not the curvature of the Earth blocking the light. It's the boards that he cut holes in.
But how come
because of
if he
diffraction?
has the light held
Because of
straight up to the
diffraction, he
hole?
doesn't have a culminated light source. That's what he needed. That's what they set out to do. Use a laser. They couldn't use a laser because they burnt out the culminator. So they used flashlight, which is dumb because of diffraction.
They
Well,
only
hang on.
didn't even
The
use the
science
flashlight.
behind
They didn't even think it would work. The only reason they did it because there was like 100 people there, and it's like,
hang on.
do we tell everybody we burnt out the flashlight, or we just or burnt out the laser, or we just try it with a flashlight? They're like, okay, fuck it, we'll just try it with a flashlight. We're already here.
The science behind what?
The science behind it being blocked.
You didn't know what diffraction was. Don't talk about science.
The science behind
Well, I know science better than you. I'm an engineer.
No, you don't. If you don't know what diffraction is, you don't know shit, bro.
See, we were being respectful until you.
Yeah, but don't say
yeah, till you said that. You assume you're better than all of us when you know nothing about us. And you've just shown an extreme. You've just shown an extreme lack of common sense in every way. Yeah, you have.
He went first and said, "I know nothing about
So
science."
the point I was making about
when I have a master's degree in engineering, what does he have?
It doesn't matter. So the point is, we don't want to make genetic.
I have a degree in science, but I'm not going to say what. Okay.
Yeah, because it's probably bullshit, like you.
Yeah.
Like you. Oh, and then he left. He can't take the heat. He can't take.